up, you guys? It is Breyonna, and today we're going to be doing another Colourpop video, which you guys know, like, I am literally so obsessed with Colourpop. But today we are going to be testing out the brand new holiday collection, and I don't know about you guys, but when I saw it, I thought the packaging was honestly amazing. And today we're going to be testing out this palette that launched. It is called Boudoir Noir, and it kind of has like an elegant kind of like look to it. And I don't know if you guys can see the foil detailing on the palette, but it is beautiful. And it also is on the back too, which is really cool. So once we open up this palette, as you can see, there is a really large size mirror in here, and normally these 12-pan palettes don't have mirrors, so I'm really happy that they included one. And then here is the color story, and it's a very kind of like soft glam vibe. Now this collection was actually fairly large size, so again, they launched 2 eyeshadow palettes, but I only have one. They also launched this Glitterly Obsessed mini duo, and one of these in here looks really blue and interesting, so I'm really excited to try it. They also launched this pressed powder blush. And this is the shade that I got. It's called Love Story. It's kind of like a nudie pink. And then lastly, I have 2 Luxe Glosses. So as always, the first thing that I'm going to do before we test out the eyeshadow palette is prime my eyelids. And of course, I'm just going to use my ABH eye primer. And I'm just going to apply just a little bit on the back of my hand. You can apply to your eyes first, but I just prefer using my hand. I find that I get a little bit better of an application this way. And I don't use as much product. And then I'm just going to do a tapping motion and apply it all over my eyelid, just so we have a really nice base for all of the shadows that we're going to use. So now we're going to dip into the eyeshadow palette, and the first shade I want to go in with is this really kind of interesting yellowy brown shade called Desire. Ooh, this shade though, she's really dark on my brush. I'm just taking it on this larger fluffy brush from the Morphe x Madison Beer collection. And I'm just going to be applying it right into my crease. This is going to be acting as our transition shade today. Okay, I don't want to sound weird, but this kind of reminds me of like those poopy, kind of like grungy colors I'm obsessed with. Like, I don't know if you get that vibe too, but it just has like that feel to it. That's a really pretty color though. Like, this color is like one of those ones I feel like would be perfect for fall time. It also has a really nice amount of pigmentation to it as well, especially for a first layer. And I'm also kind of like taking my brush and rounding it around my outer V. Now I'm just going to go in with a second layer and just kind of see if it builds up a little bit. Oh yeah. So to me it seems that when you do 2 layers, it looks like it does in the pan. But also it is very pigmented right away. Like, you honestly wouldn't have to build it up if you didn't want to. You guys know though, I like to build up my shadows anytime that I can. So the next shade I want to go in with is this really interesting green shade called Late Text. So I'm just going to be taking this shade on this tinier little fluffy blending brush from the Madison Beer collection from Morphe again. And to me, this shade is definitely like a true olive green. Man, I really love it next to that yellowy brown. Like, they go really well together. And I'm also just kind of taking like whatever's left on my brush and kind of like packing it down in the outer third of my eye. Right on my lid, kind of like in this area. But I mean, for a 1 dip though, that's really pretty. I'm going to go in with a second layer though, just to see if we can get it a little bit deeper. But again, I don't think you would have to build up this shade if you didn't want to. And also, it's blending out really nice, because sometimes these like grungy greens, it can give a lot of harsh lines. And this one has a really nice formula to it. So I want like a tiny bit more definition with this look, so I'm going to go in with this really dark brown in the palette called Hot Toddy. And I'm just going to be taking it on this smaller little blending brush, again from that Madison Beer collection. And I'm taking just like the smallest amount of my brush too, because I don't want it like super brown in the crease either. I just want a little bit more depth. And this brown is actually a really interesting shade too. It's kind of like a brown, but it has like this tiny little hint of green to it. So I think it's going to pair really well with Late Night Text. And I'm just going to take a little bit more of my brush and just kiss my crease with it. Because I want to do something maybe like a little bit more wearable today, but at the same time still kind of smoky. And again, I'm making sure that I'm really like packing this color down in this outer third. And I'm just going to be taking a little bit more of Hot Toddy on that brush that we applied it with. And I'm just kissing the edge, just to make sure everything is all nice and blended together. Because again, I don't want Hot Toddy to be like a super dark brown crease. Again, I just want it to give me a little bit more definition. So that's why I'm just softening the edge. Now don't get me wrong, I do like a really good cut crease moment, but I don't know, like something about this palette just screams soft glam to me, so I think I'm going to do something a little bit on the softer side today. So we're actually going to start working on the lid, and the shade I want to go in with is this kind of like pewter color, and this one is called Body Language. And I'm just going to be applying it all over my eyelid. I'm just going to make sure that we have it anywhere that base is still showing. And what I'm going to do, since I do have slightly hooded eyes, is I'm going to look straight forward into my mirror. I'm not going to have my head tilted. I'm just going to look as, you know, as straight as I can, essentially. And I'm just going to take this little shader brush and bring the shimmer up slightly above my natural crease, just to help really open up the eye. This is a trick I like to do with normal cut creases, but I also really like to do it when I just apply a shimmer to the eye too, just so my eyes don't look so hooded. You know, looking at this shimmer is definitely one of those more like wearable everyday type looking ones. Like it has a cute little sheen to it, but it's not like super pizzazzy. So I'm gonna layer it and do a second layer and kind of see if we can make it a little bit more wow. So it appears if you do 2 layers, you can get it a little bit more metallic looking, but again, it definitely has more of that wearable look to it. Like there's just something about this palette, it just has like this everyday glam look to it. So I'm not surprised that this shimmer has that vibe to it too. Now, I'm not too sure how this is gonna look, but now we're gonna go in with the pressed glitter in the palette called Bedtime Story. Like, I don't know if this is gonna look funny or not, but I'm just gonna take it on my finger, because I prefer Colourpop's pressed glitters applied with my finger. I find that they just look so much more like sparkly and glittery this way. And I'm just applying it right on top of that pewter shade. So if you don't want to use pressed glitter, you could always just skip on this step. But wow. That is a lot more gold and orange than I was expecting it to look like. I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was going to be more of like a white gold. But this is almost like a fall glittery shade. And when I'm applying it too, I'm not doing like a swiping motion. I'm like tapping it into the eyelid. In person, this glitter to me is kind of like a yellowy gold with orange and bright lime green flecks of sparkle in it. It's really pretty, but I just was not expecting it to look this way. Now I'm just going to take that fluffy brush that we used earlier, and I'm just kissing the edge of the glitter, just so we don't have any like random flecks in the crease, because that does not look cute. And I'm also going to kind of like finesse this outer edge too of the glitter, just so we don't have any funkiness. Because again, I don't want any harsh lines from the glitter. It'd be fine if we had a cut crease going on, but since we don't have like a traditional one, I just want things to look a little bit more on the softer side. And since you can never have enough glitter, now we're gonna go in with the Glitterly Obsessed mini kit, and I'm really happy that these are minis, and they're just so cute. And I love the like little bundle packaging too. It just has a whole cute little vibe to it. And with this kit, we got 2, of course. We have this kind of like bluish one, and this one is called In Your Eyes. And even like the packaging is just, oh, like I can't, like it's so cute. And this one is kind of the one I'm gravitating towards because it's kind of like an icy blue iridescent. And then the second one that we have is called Gaze, and this is a little bit more of like a gold color. So I'm just going to swatch these for you guys. But I love the little mini container. Like this is such a nice thing. I hope that they do it with all the shades. Ooh, that is pretty. I love that one. And again, that one is called In Your Eyes, and then the second one is called Gaze. Gaze seems a little bit thicker in the pot than the other one, and it's also not as chunky looking. Ooh, that one's really pretty too. They completely have a different vibe though. Like Gaze to me is a little bit more of a wearable one. It's not as sparkly, whereas In Your Eyes is like super, super glittery looking. And then here's what they look like up close, and as you can see, In Your Eyes is just like that cool chunky glitter look. And then Gaze is definitely a lot more on the wearable side. It's a really fine milled glitter. And I'm just gonna go in with In Your Eyes. I just can't resist how cool it looks. And I'm just gonna take a little tiny bit on my finger and tap off the excess on the back of my hand, because I kind of want to get rid of some of that jelly kind of like consistency in it, just so it doesn't mess up what we have going on already. And then I'm just gonna start tapping it right on top of that pressed glitter, just for a little bit of a chunky moment. Ooh, those look really pretty together. It just made it look a little bit more pizzazzy. I mean, like, girl, like, look at that shine factor, though. Like, it is so stunning. Like, I hope my camera is really doing it justice because in person, it is super sparkly. But, you know, off camera, though, I'm just gonna, like, clean up this little bit of glitter that I have on my face. I'm going to apply, like, my complexion products, liner, lashes, stuff like that. And then afterwards, I'll be right back to finish up the look. So here's the map right now after doing all of that off camera, and I don't know about you guys, but this look is really giving me a fall vibe in a way. But now let's work on the lip situation because, I don't know, like they're kind of bugging me right now with barely anything on them. And with this collection, I did get 2 of the Luxe Glosses. I got this really pretty kind of like peachy nude one, and this one is called First Date, which is really cute. I love the names of this collection. Ooh, that doesn't even smell like anything. The other Luxe Glosses that I have in my collection, they have like a vanilla-y scent. But this one honestly kind of smells like a balloon, if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't really have a scent to it. And then here is what it looks like. So it is definitely a very like nudie color. And then the other one I got, this one is called Truth Bomb, and this one's kind of like a cool tone, almost like taupey color. This is the one that I'm the most excited for. And again, like it has like that balloon like scent to it, like so it doesn't really actually have a scent to it. So if you don't like scents, you'll probably really like that. And then here is what it looks like. Oh yeah, that is the one I want to go in with. And then here is what the colors look like next to each other. So I'm first going to line my lips using this pencil from Gerard Cosmetics. It is actually one of my favorite lip liners ever. And this one is in the shade Sugar and Spice. It's kind of like a cool tone nude color. And I just kind of like filled in my lips with that pencil too, but I'm just going to go in with this gloss again in Truth Bomb. I don't know, I think the color's just really pretty. I love that it's kind of like a cool tone like nude color. I don't think I have anything like this. Especially in like a creme. But I'm just going to apply it to the center of my lip. And if you've never tried out a Luxe Gloss before, it is so light on the lips. It is not sticky or tacky. It's a really nice formula. So if you're somebody that hates gloss, and a lot of times you find them really sticky, you will not have any issues with this one. Because I'm not a gloss person, and I love this formula. Oh, such a pretty color. I could see this being like my everyday, kind of like nudie gloss color. So now let's start working on the lower lash line, and I'm just going to mix Desire in with that shade called Latex and do like a 1-to-1 ratio. And I'm just going to apply this combo wombo right underneath my lower lash line, doing back and forth motions. And I'm just using this brush from Profusion. I really like their brushes. This is a small pointed eyeshadow brush. It's a super small little blending brush. And now for the inner corner highlight, I'm just going to go in with this white gold shade in the palette called Goodnight. No, I'm just going to be taking this shade on a dampened pencil brush from Anastasia. I'm hoping that this one's really metallic, since we do have that glitter on the lid. Oh yeah, that is a metallic inner corner. Ooh, that is pretty. So it seems like that one shimmer that we used was a little bit more on the wearable side, whereas this one is like those really extra ones from Colourpop. Wow, like that is such a blinding color though. And I love it paired with those greens that we've used. And then the last product that we have from this collection is the Pressed Powder Blush in the shade Love Story. And this one's kind of like a nudie, pinky, peachy shade. And I'm just going to be taking it on this Sigma F40 little angled blush brush. And I'm just going to be stippling it right on my cheekbone. Oh yeah, like that is definitely a everyday color for me. And I gotta say, Colourpop's Pressed Powder Blushes are one of my favorite products from them, hands down. They have a really nice medium buildable coverage to them, and they're also just really blendable. And if you're looking for an everyday kind of like pinky nude blush shade, I think you're going to be really happy with this one. I mean, like, look at that color. It goes so well with the eye look too. Okay, is it me or is this look kind of reminding you of like a fall glam type of vibe, or is it just me? Maybe it's the green that we used or the glitter having like an orange and green shift to it, but I don't know, it's screaming fall to me for some reason. So let's talk about the products that we used because, girl, like this collection was fairly good sized. And first of all, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette, which to me is the star of this show out of the whole collection. And I gotta say, like, packaging wise, it is so beautiful. It kind of has like that elegant, whimsical kind of look to it. It almost kind of gives me like an angelic vibe. Like, I don't know if it's like the gold or like the swirls, but I don't know, it just looks really, really beautiful. So let's talk about the formula of this palette. And the mattes in here are honestly like super pigmented, but at the same time they're very easy to work with. So if you're a beginner, I don't think you're gonna struggle with them, because even this darker shade right here did not give me any harsh lines nor any issues. As for the shimmers in here, again, I only used 2 of them. This first one that we used, this pewter one called Body Language, this one's really pretty, but it definitely has like that satiny, kind of like everyday shimmer type of look to it. So if you like those extra metallic shimmers, you're not gonna be happy with that one. However, this second one that we used in the inner corner called Good Night, this one is really metallic and it just looks extra. Like it just has a lot of shine and a lot of sparkle to it. As for the pressed glitter in here, it looks so pretty on the eye. Like I cannot get over the shine factor of it. And if you've never tried out Colourpop's pressed glitter formula before, like girl, you are missing out. Like it is so nice. It is very easy to apply. It does not flake throughout the day, and it just does not give any fallout, which is really awesome. As for the Glitterly Obsessed that we used today, I think it's really cute. I love that this set is minis and not full size, because again, I'm one of those people, I don't ever see myself going through a Glitterly Obsessed fully, just because it's not really my favorite product from Colourpop, because it has a learning curve to it, and a lot of times if I'm going to use a glitter, I would rather use a pressed glitter or a complete loose glitter. But again, it was very easy to apply. I definitely recommend using your fingers though over a brush, and also it did not disturb anything underneath of it when I applied it. As for the Luxe Gloss that we used in this shade Truth Bomb, I think this is a really nice gloss. It is a very kind of like cool tone nudie color. It's one of those colors that you just don't see all that much, and also if you're like me and you hate lip gloss, this is one of my favorite formulas, just because it is so light on the lips. It kind of feels like an oil and it does not get sticky throughout the day. And lastly, let's talk about the pressed powder blush, and honestly this is probably one of my favorite blushes Colourpop has ever released, just because it is just a really nice everyday pinky nude color that will go with a bunch of different eye looks. So when it comes down to it, would I recommend this collection to you guys? And of course I would recommend it. Honestly, none of the products in here gave me any issues, and I really like the whole vibe of it too. It definitely is a collection I can see myself using for everyday wear, just because of like the colors and the tones. I feel like they just have like that everyday glam look to them. Even though I absolutely love the quality of this collection, and again, none of the products gave me any issues today, I will say none of the products are revolutionary, nor are they like super unique. Like I have these types of colors already in my collection, but again, the formulas are really nice. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this collection and if you're going to be picking up any of the items from it, because I would love to hear what you guys think as well. But as always though, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on my Instagram page or my TikTok, it is at Breyonna as well. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!